Right now on News 3, the life expectancy in the U.S. is falling. What the CDC says is behind it.
Plus, a scam warning for anyone buying secondhand tickets specifically at Madison's newest music venue.
It was just so exciting. I was excited to have it start.
A young Mount Horeb man finds a way to do something good for animals he will most likely never meet.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. A new report out today shows the life expectancy for Americans is on the decline from previous years.
The CDC said that is due to an increase in suicides and drug overdose deaths. New tonight at 10, Amy Reed joins us now to tell us what local groups are doing to try to combat it. Amy?
Dane County has multiple resources for people struggling with addiction or suicidal thoughts. We spoke with one today that just started about a month ago after another staggering statistic hit the world of mental health. The Addiction Recovery Helpline is ready 24/7. Their lines are open. And though they just opened in October, they've already proven their worth.
We've taken about 50 calls here in our center, but almost 500 calls statewide. So it's been pretty busy.
The helpline started after new numbers showed deaths from opioid overdoses outpaced car-related deaths, a statistic the state wanted to see changed.
What we're hoping for is that folks in our communities who are struggling with addictions or who have friends or family members who struggle with addiction will reach out and give us a call so we can help them get connected to the resources they need to get help and recover.
But today they're faced with another staggering statistic. The life expectancy for Americans has gone down. That's in part because of a 9.6% increase in deaths by drug overdose and a 3.7% rise in deaths by suicide, bringing it to the highest level in 50 years. Doctors spent today theorizing what may have caused this.
I think in many parts of the country there is a sense of hopelessness, that people are unemployed, they're not sure of their future, there's divisive politics, the income gap is widening, and I really do believe that people are increasingly hopeless, and that leads to drug use, it leads to potentially suicide.
But in Dane County, the resources are focused on recovery. And though it's hard having to hear the uphill battle they face,
it's sad. I mean, it's people in our community. It's people that we love. It's people we at 2-in-1 talk to every day.
They're hopeful they'll see a difference.
I hope with this line that if people who see that statistic or see the statistic about the car accident, that hopefully it sparks a fire in them to get help and give us a call.
The Addiction Recovery Line and the Suicide Hotline cover the entire state. They're both available 24/7. Here are their numbers. Dial 211 or 833-944-4673 for the Addiction Recovery Line and 1-800-273-8255 for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
Amy Reed reporting tonight. Amy, thank you.
One of several UW hospital patients to contract Legionnaire's disease, a severe form of pneumonia, has died. The disease is suspected to have spread due to an issue with the hospital's hot water system. The hospital says the patient was severely ill before contracting the disease and says their death was not unexpected. Also today, UW Hospital says a fifth person has developed Legionnaire's and begun treatment. And over at St. Mary's Hospital, a patient there is being treated for the disease as well. According to a statement sent out by SSM Health, the patient did not contract the bacteria in a healthcare setting.
If you live in Verona, you'll likely be seeing triple-digit increases in your property tax bill this year because of an error by the city assessor. Assessor Paul Musser says he added an extra zero in an online form, changing the way the city's finances looked to state officials. On the average valued home, the owners will pay an extra $135 this year. The Common Council is reconsidering the contract for the assessor. Let's get a look at weather now. Meteorologist Dana Fulton has our first alert forecast. Hi, Dana.
Hey, so we had a fairly mellow day today after snowfall overnight, clouds in the sky, but no other moisture really coming through this afternoon. Right now, though, we do have some freezing drizzle starting to slide into parts of southern Wisconsin. Iowa and northern Illinois right now, they're dealing with most of it. But if you look down just east of Platteville towards Monroe right now, we are seeing some light flurries, it looks like. Nothing too major expected, but you may see a few snowflakes overnight as that little line of moisture continues to travel east. No more accumulation expected, I should say. We picked up an inch last night in Madison. 31 right now in Madison, about 32 in Mineral Point and in Janesville. That is a little bit warmer than yesterday. Good news, we don't have to factor in much of a wind chill because there isn't much of a breeze overnight. Wind speeds are at 0. We may see a breeze up to about 2 or 3 miles per hour, but that's about it. Tomorrow will be fairly mellow with some sun in the sky. A high of 38 expected, but this weekend could get a little messy. We do have 2 alert days in the forecast for this weekend. We will break down some timing and why those alert days are in effect in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. The family of a 20-year-old UW-Whitewater student who drowned at a resort in Mexico last year has filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Abby Connor was from Pewaukee. Her family suing the resort in Playa del Carmen, the U.S.-based company that handles its bookings. Abby drowned after passing and falling into a pool. The civil complaint alleges the hotel knew that alcoholic beverages served at the resort were tainted and unfit for consumption.
From day one, I knew an injustice had occurred, and I wanted to fight it with whatever we could or have. So hence we, reached out to legal parties, and here we are now today.
Now, the resort has repeatedly denied that any of its alcohol was tainted and says its supply chains are secure. The Connor family lawyer says the idea that Abby and Austin Connor were simply drunk is impossible. Madison's new concert venue, the Sylvie, is warning concert goers to take extra precautions when buying their tickets.
With big name bands like the Smashing Pumpkins who played last night, the music venue says they're seeing more people trying to scam those looking for tickets out of their money. Our Madeline O'Neill is here to explain why. Maddie?
In a post, the Sylvie is warning that people on Facebook are claiming to have extra tickets and are looking to sell them when in reality they often aren't even from the area. FPC Live co-president Matt Girding says there's also been an uptick in third-party ticketing sales where buyers purchase tickets and jack up the prices to 4 or 5 times their original price. So he encourages buyers to think twice about the source of their tickets.
Our job as promoters is to connect great bands with their fans, and the best way to do that is for us to sell the tickets on behalf of the band directly to the fans and not get anyone else involved. So.
Girding says the safest way to get tickets is either from the physical box office or on the Sylvie's website through Ticketmaster. And when buying from private sellers, Ticketmaster does allow transferring e-tickets through their dashboard, which the Sylvie recommends rather than sending unknown sellers money directly.
Speaker Paul Ryan's farewell tour continues today. On the House floor, he gave a speech and thanked those back home for their support and reflected on his career.
I started as an intern in the mailroom, and I worked my way on up. I figured I knew everything about these jobs, all the long hours and all the sacrifices, but nothing can truly prepare you for having people willing to help you in such a big undertaking on the front lines.
He also received his House Budget Committee Chairman portrait today during an interview with the Washington Post. He says his 2 biggest regrets during his 20 years in Congress are not successfully dealing with immigration and the national debt.
The latest group of Wisconsin Army National Guardsmen to be deployed overseas was given a formal send-off at Lambeau Field today. A standing room only crowd loaded Lambeau's atrium. His family said goodbye and good luck. The nearly 400 Wisconsin Army National Guardsmen are making their way to Texas, where they'll continue training until being deployed to Afghanistan early next year. The Wisconsin Department of Transportation held a public involvement meeting on a project to improve a segment of State Highway 19 tonight between River Road and I-94. The DOT proposing the replacement of a bridge, increasing to 4 lanes and adding a roundabout intersection. They say that for DeForest and nearby communities, the need for improvements is clear.
It is a growing area, especially with the Fleet Farm development and potential for other future developments, that these changes are definitely needed to accommodate the future traffic that could be coming into this area and that will be coming definitely because of the Fleet Farm.
Now, the DOT says construction is slated to begin and conclude in 2020. The highway is expected to remain open during construction. After being shut down for nearly 10 hours yesterday, Verona Road is now back open.
But many of you were left with a lot of questions asking why it took so long. A project manager tells us a truck hit the wires above Verona Road, which caused 2 wooden poles to break. That brought everything down with it. The DOT ordered replacement parts that came from Medford, which is about 3 hours away. Take into account the travel time on top of the installation time, with the snow factoring in as a deterrent. It ended up being 10 hours before the roads were open again.
An intersection like the one behind me with the temporary traffic signals takes close to a week to install.
And so we asked the contractor and our DOT electricians to make those repairs within hours.
Steve added the contractor who hit those wires will be responsible for the cost of repairs. A sign of the season, the Merrimack Ferry that moves vehicles across the Wisconsin River between Sauk and Columbia counties is set to close this week for the winter. The state DOT says the ferry will close at 6 p.m. tomorrow because of ice conditions on the river.
Still ahead tonight, a pair of alert days this weekend. Dana Fulton will have a closer look at what to expect.
Is that the one?
Yep.
And then the dog toy?
Yeah.
Okay, so $30.
And this man's love for animals is just like being wrapped in a warm blanket. Don't miss this special Do Something Good story next.
Welcome back. There is something special about a whoopee, right? An object like a stuffed animal or blanket that brings you comfort.
And that's really no different for your dog or cat. Well, there's a young man in Mount Horeb whose life changed years ago when he decided to do something good for homeless animals. And he's helping them and animals who do have loving homes, one blanket at a time.
Good ball. Thank you.
Jeff Hopwood isn't here to bowl. That's not his thing. He's here to sell.
Jeff, do your thing here. So do you have a boy or a girl dog?
Making blankets is his thing.
Are you looking for maybe a one that will fit for both? It started as a fundraiser to help raise money for the animals. Over the years, it just kind of grew.
Blankets by Jeff started over 4 years ago.
I have a small blanket for $15.
All right.
Medium are $25.
Okay.
Large are $40. to the next corner.
He pays for all the material himself from the 5 different cleaning jobs he has. And he, with his foster mom, Deb, shop for what they think will be best sellers.
We kind of look for the dog and cat patterns. And then sometimes we'll get like plaids or things like that.
If you haven't guessed by now,
I really love animals. I've had dogs growing up and I had cats growing up.
but there's one dog in particular that ended up being a blessing in disguise.
We came across Blessing. His name was Ralphie or something. And he had 3 legs. When he and I met, basically, he laid his head right next to mine, and I'm like, we gotta have him. He's mine. And from that day on, we were bonded.
Tied together like each knot on Jeff's blankets.
And then just recently, he passed away.
In addition to sharing his story about Blessing, he also shared something unexpected, something he wants people to know.
I am somebody who has autism.
You've really shown people that despite having autism, big deal, right?
Right. You can do anything you put your mind to. Honestly, I don't think there's such a thing as normal. Hi there, how are you tonight?
What is normal for Jeff is treating his customers with kindness and selling his blankets.
This one is one of my favorites. Otherwise, this one is a really cute one. I woof you.
Because with every sale, he knows the money will do something good and be a blessing to animals in need.
I really hope that I one day could sell out. It keeps me busy with that, besides all my jobs.
My money box, too.
It keeps me busy, which is a good thing because it keeps me out of trouble. So will be $50.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for all the
nice
work.
to meet you.
Thanks for all the work you do.
Jeff, thank you so much for doing something good. So you, my friends out there, are all in luck because Jeff will be selling his blankets this weekend at Metcalf's West this Saturday at 10 a.m. and at Miller's in Mount Horeb on Sunday at 9 a.m. And he will be back at 10 Pin Alley on the 8th at 11 a.m. If you cannot make it to any of those places, don't worry, you can order blankets via his Facebook page, Blankets by Jeff. Now, if you know of someone, an organization or business doing something good, please let me know. Fill out a nomination at channel3000.com/do-something-good.
Susan always says throw another dog on the bed when it's this cold. I say throw another blanket on the dog.
Throw a blanket on the dog,
There
yes.
you go. What a great story for Jeff. And you need a blanket for your dog in this cold weather, right?
Absolutely. They may not want to get out of the blanket heading into tomorrow morning or even into this weekend because we are looking at the chance for some snowfall to come in for us this weekend. It's not going to be quite as cold tonight. I say that because we're not going in the teens, but it is still going to be very chilly outside. We'll have a little bit of sun in the forecast for tomorrow, and then by the time we get towards Saturday and Sunday, our next big system moves in, so it could be just a little messy early Saturday and early Sunday morning. On our radar right now, we're picking up a little light snowfall on the southern edge of the state, freezing drizzle moving through Iowa and Illinois. We may see a little bit of freezing drizzle or even some snow for southern Wisconsin over the next few hours, but notice that it's pretty light, pretty scattered, nothing that's going to add on to what we saw last night. Picked up an inch in Madison last night. Mostly cloudy tonight. Tomorrow, those clouds break up just a little bit. Gives us a little bit of sun in the afternoon. It'll help us warm up a little more. Temps will be in the upper 30s for us later in the day. Overnight, though, cloud coverage building back in, and that's when our next system comes through. Right now, sliding through the plains into the Midwest as the system moves north. It brings rain to the area. That rain-snow dividing line moves right through Madison. Where that line lands could be very messy Saturday morning. We're expecting rain for most of the day, and then as that system pulls away and our temperatures drop, the snow slides back in as we head into Sunday. And that transitional period is really what we're most concerned about. Again, heading through much of Saturday, we are expecting rainfall for most of southern Wisconsin, but you don't need to travel far north of Madison to again see that freezing drizzle or even some snowfall. By the time we get into early Sunday morning, the snow line starts to creep further south through much of the day on Sunday. We are expecting light snowfall. Not expecting much right now. Accumulation totals are hovering close to 1.5 inches, but we'll see some. Because of the travel concerns associated with this storm, again, especially Saturday and Sunday morning as that precip changes from snow and rain and back and forth. We do have alert days in the forecast for both Saturday and Sunday. Downtown right now is fairly mellow, just cloudy outside. Today we hit a high of 32 degrees. Nice to be back in the 30s. Still below average though. 37 is where we should have been. Overnight lows fairly close to where we should be for average. Tonight we're falling into the mid-20s, just a few degrees lower than where we're at right now, with that slight chance for a little bit of a mix moving in. Tomorrow in the upper 30s. 38 will be our high in Madison with that variably cloudy sky. Not quite as cold. Will be a little more pleasant outside again with that sun in the afternoon. If you're in the sun and we don't have much of a breeze, it should be fairly decent. The alert days for Saturday and Sunday are more due to, again, the travel concerns, not the accumulation potential for us. With that snow coming in on Sunday, we won't see too much. But as temperatures fall overnight into Monday, all of that moisture that we get over the weekend, again, could lead to some slick roads Monday morning as well. So travel on the weekend, top priority. Next week, first full week of December, will be cool outside.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Dana. The Badger volleyball team gets the NCAA tournament off to a good start at the Fieldhouse tonight. The highlights coming up in sports.
The goal for the Badger women's volleyball team is to play for the national championship at Target Center in Minneapolis in 3 weeks. Step one is tonight as the Badgers host the first round of the tournament at the UW Fieldhouse against in-state rival Green Bay. The Badgers come out clicking in the first set. Wisconsin's Sydney Hilley to Dana Retke for the big kill. Wisconsin takes the first set 25-9, but the second set was a whole different story. The Phoenix battled point for point. Ashley Sledge gets the kill off the block. It's 25-25 in the second, but Wisconsin has too much firepower. Look at that. Tiffany Clark keeps the play alive. Hilley sets to Molly Haggerty for the roll and point. Wisconsin wins the second set 27-25, the third 25-15. Step one complete for the Badgers. In the other first-round match, Pepperdine beat Northern Iowa in 3 sets. So tomorrow night, it's Wisconsin and Pepperdine at the Fieldhouse at 7. The winner goes to the third round next weekend. Badger men's basketball team in Iowa City to begin the regular season of the Big Ten tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Iowa head coach Fran McCaffrey should be in a better mood than he seems. The Hawks are off to a 6-0 start and ranked 14th in the country, but that was the non-conference season. They know things are different starting tomorrow night.
I mean, going into Big Ten play, we knew it's going to be tough, especially when the schedule came out. You know, starting with Wisconsin here at home, and I think when you see how how the Big Ten's been able to perform in the non-conference, it's as strong as it's ever been since I've been here, and that's what you want. You know, going into this season and understand we have some tough competition, and that's why you come to this level. That's why you play at this level.
The 4-6-1 Packers are about a 2-touchdown favorite against the Arizona Cardinals Sunday at noon at Lambeau Field. The Cardinals are 2-9, and it would seem Sunday's weather forecast won't help the road team either. Snow changing to rain, some wind, and temperatures in the mid-30s. Aaron Rodgers would like that temperature even lower.
Oh, yeah, 15, 10, 5. Colder the better. You know, it's a West Coast team playing, not West Coast, but it's a Western United States team playing a noon Central game. Colder the better. And then we got a dome team coming up. Colder the better. So I hope it gets even colder. I hope it snows, and that's playing downhill for us.
We'll start our winter schedule for the Prep Mania Game of the Week Friday, December 14th, when Leilani Kapanis and Madison Memorial travels to Verona in a Big 8 girls basketball game. Brosin will bring you the game live on channel3000.com Friday, December 14th at 7:15 p.m. We're going to end with a couple of nice, warm golf highlights. Tiger Woods playing in the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. Wasn't his best day. This chip rolls back into the water, leading to a triple bogey. He shoots 73 today. That's 8 shots behind the leaders Patrick Cantlay and Patrick Reed. And in the Australian PGA Championship, John Senden hit his tee shot. Well, he tried to hit his tee shot, and you won't believe what happened. Watch on his downswing. His club breaks inside his grip. The unfortunate thing, because his intention was to hit the ball, it counts as a stroke. Look at that. Hey, rules are rules, and we'll be right back.
Overnight, we're planning on a pretty mellow evening tomorrow, a little bit of sunshine, but we do have alert days in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday because of the mixed precipitation from snow transitioning to rain Saturday morning, and then the inverse is true for Sunday, rain then snowfall. So travel conditions could be a little messy for us both days.
All right. Dana, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 310.
Do something good. We'll see you tomorrow.